All right, excited as ever is Artosis, and we're going to be moving on to the finals in game number 4.
Welcome to TeamSpeak, advanced voice communication software for any platform. TeamSpeak allows groups of people to communicate and share information with anyone via the internet or through private networks. Using your Windows, Mac or Linux-based computer, all you need is a headset with microphone, and in minutes you can be chatting with others in real time, using our crystal clear voice technology.
Welcome back to the finals of the TeamSpeak TL Open number 14. We're here on game number 4. A lot of 4s showing up recently, but we're over on Metalopolis. mouzMorrow up 2-1, looking to clinch the series and take it home. Also take down that $100 prize. Spawning in the top, 12 o'clock as the Green Zerg is mouzMorrow, and his opponent close ground positions. Going back to Grandma Blue is PraeNightEnD.
Well, you know, it served him well before. Will it serve him well against Morrow? We will see. Both of them very strong StarCraft 1 players. Maybe that's what it is, man. StarCraft 1 players have a lot of fashion sense. So they may get thrown off by that
Yes,
color.
that's probably what it is.
I'm relatively sure that that's what it could be.
I guess something to add to the drama, we should probably talk about what these players are playing for. Of course, TeamSpeak has provided the prizes here. So the winner is going to walk away with $100. Second place going to take down $50 US. But above that, we're also playing for spots into the TSL number 3. Of course, we've gone through the Asian server invites thus far. And the winner is going to join them seeded directly into the round of 32, whereas the loser is going to take down 100 TSL3 qualifier points. Now, what that means is that if Morrow is 2-0'd in game number 4 and 5 and takes those 100 points as opposed to the direct seed, he's probably going to be seeded in just on points. Whereas if NightEnD is defeated and he takes the 100 points, he's not really guaranteed to make it into the TSL3, depending what happens next week in the final qualifier. And after going to the final qualifier, seeing all the points, tallying them all up, then we'll have a better handle on what it looks like and who our 32 final players are.
Yeah, not just a better handle, a perfect handle, because we will know, but that really makes this a very pressure-filled match for NightEnD. As we said before, obviously the TSL, this is going to be, by and large, one of the main things that you are judged on skill-wise. Like, oh, you're a top player, you want to get invited to these other tournaments? Well, how'd you do in the TSL? You know, that's actually going to be something that comes up. So, NightEnD, he has got to get in there. I mean, Morrow is such an accomplished player at this point that no matter what tournament you have, he's going to be in it. You know, he's going to be there, and especially, as you said, he's got so many points already in the TSL that he's probably just going to be in. So, that may affect NightEnd's play a little bit, being under that much pressure.
Yeah, and there's a lot of players who already have over 100 points that it's possible, despite coming in second in a TL Open, it's really possible and actually looking like a likelihood that 100 points may not be enough, because we have a lot of repeat performers who have broken that 100-point barrier and putting a lot of pressure on these players. So just finishing second may not get you in.
That's right, so he's going to have to bring his strongest builds next week. If Morrow manages to defeat him this week, well, Morrow doing the same build. Someone owes me a house. Who took that action? Probably Reckrel.
And second gateway going down now for NightEnD, and third gateway going down. He has his 2 geysers already mining out of these simulators, and Sentry production is on the way. So we're going to see, by and large, what we've seen many, many times. Probably again that 6th Sentry expansion into robotics, and having close ground positions like this, Morrow faces a similar problem as he had on Lost Temple, where there's just a sick robotics unit timing attack that's really difficult for a Zerg to deal with.
That's right, but it is further away than it was on Lost Temple, of course, so that's going to help him out a little bit. There are 2 paths as well as some high ground around there, so Morrow going to be able to do a few more tricks than we saw him do on Lost Temple, so I'm sure he's happy about that, being on this map. And, well, NightEnD, he did choose this map, right? So, obviously, he's a very confident player on Metalopolis, which leads me to believe that we're going to see probably a strong macro-based play. You don't really choose Metalopolis saying, well, I hope I get, close position so I can rush him.
mouzMorroW now, he's actually got a lot of Zerglings in production. 14 Zerglings with 10 already on the field. So this could be some sort of early attack, early aggression that we haven't seen out of mouzMorroW thus far. Meanwhile, the expansion is up for NightEnD. He's got a lot of sentries and warp gates complete. But yeah, I probably wouldn't want to be fooling around with Zerglings if I was looking at that wall of spinning sentry globes sitting on the ramp there.
Man, unless you want to see New York City right before you die, don't mess with those snow globes. But here he comes. It's a lot of speedlings if he can actually go up to the sentries. Looks like he wants to force a cancel here. And here come in some speedlings from the side and some very good force fields. But I think he's going to have to cancel the Nexus chill. He's trapped himself in there. The Zealot holding off for now and warping some more Zealots outside the force fields. Very good move by NightEnD. And in fact, does not have to cancel yet. But some roaches are on the way, more Zerglings being made. It looks like mouzMorrow wants to go in, and here he goes, going up again. More and more force fields. The Zealots out there, though, they are fighting strong.
And NightEnD is doing really well to buy himself time with these force fields, but when the roaches come in and the sentries are energy drained, that's going to be a really difficult position. NightEnD has lost a lot of shields on that Nexus production tab, showing 10 Zerglings and 3 roaches on the way, so mouzMorrow is getting really aggressive, and this is surprising for at least me. I think you're probably in the same boat. mouzMorrow reuniting with his roaches. He's got 4 roaches and a lot of speedlings. Production tab showing he has no intention of stopping the aggression.
Yeah, this is pretty all-in by mouzMorrow, but with that cannon up, with the warp gates still going, NightEnD just constantly warping in more and more units, a lot more sentries as well, getting that robotics facility too. mouzMorrow is going to have to rethink this, and in fact he does start a layer, an evolution chamber, and makes a round of drones, so looks like he's realized, okay, this all-in is ill-fated. Chilled, just like Romeo and Juliet. This all-in and his base are star-crossed lovers, yet his base is just not going to die at the end of the story. So, he's switching it up, and I like that. I love it when a player sees that and realizes the all-in won't work, and thus at least tries to switch it over into something else.
Artosis, the most poetic of the StarCraft commentators. As mouzMorrow puts down his evolution chamber, begins +1, layer about to finish. As you said, I absolutely agree. I like to see him transition out of an all-in that's ill-fated. But he has put himself behind, and that means any timings that he was scared of before, he's now going to be that much more afraid of if they do come to fruition.
Oh, that's so true. If NightEnD had a very strong 2-base timing attack planned, something that he thought might win against a macro mouzMorrow, then it's going to be twice as strong now. I mean, mouzMorrow's drone count, it's huge now. He's got a ton of drones going on, but still, this is later than normal, and that affects Zerg so much. I don't think most people even really grasp how much that affects you, getting your drones a little bit later. He's just going to have far less units than he would have otherwise.
You know what's surprising to me on the income tab is that the harvester count is 53 against 52. And NightEnD is really staying on top of his mechanics, putting down pylons. I haven't seen him get supply block thus far, now making immortals out of his robotics, despite having the robotics bay. He's got +1 about to wrap up on his Protoss ground weapons, so really looking strong here. I haven't seen him make too many fundamental mistakes. He likes his build, and he sticks to it, and he's delayed this third hatchery from Zerg a little bit, which is going to make him feel more comfortable. mouzMorrow placing that at the faraway gold, and NightEnD is probably going to want to hit around the time that hatchery finishes.
Yep, that's always a great time to hit. Well, almost always. But, yeah, I like the spot that mouzMorrow has chosen to take. It's not so far off that he can't defend it against, just 2-3 Zealots being warped in. Yet, it's at a gold base. He's got the 2 watchtowers to see if NightEnD tries to get over there. And it's just going to mean that Morrow's going to play probably a more aggressive game. You know, when you have a base that is kind of out in the open like that, we've seen some players like Fruit Dealer do this before, where you're kind of on a tightrope. You know, yeah, he can go attack that relatively easily, but at the same time, you're going to be able to counterattack quite easily. So Morrow is going to play a very intense game here, and I don't even know if we're going to see NightEnD ever get to a third base. I think this is going to be decided off of his 2-base timing push here.
Yeah, I agree. And he started to make 2 photon cannons, and I think that's a sign that he wants to have an ability to just buy time while he's moving out in case he gets counterattack. Putting out a lot of Immortals, now switching over to Colossi, and just putting out a lot of gateway units. I think exactly as you said, he's getting ready to attack. And another thing we should probably keep an eye on is he's got 32 force fields available, so that's really going to help him as these 8 sentries have been here since I guess the dawn of time.
Yeah, those are the founding sentries of this Protoss base, and they are ready to lay down some force fields. Those are going to be pretty deadly as well. I mean, I love the unit composition that NightEnD is making here. Of course, we do have some Corruptors and a lot more Zerglings being made by Morrow. But how many Hydras does he actually have? None. So,
None.
You know, the 3 Immortals, as well as the huge amount of Stalkers, they're all going to do a great job against the Roaches. As long as the Force Fields and Guardian Shields are laid correctly, Morrow might be in a lot of trouble. But here we go. NightEnD actually has more supply than Morrow at this point. 171 to 167. Morrow's Burrow and Burrow movement have been upgraded, but I don't know if that will be enough this time.
Morrow up at 187 supply as he makes a round of 10 Hydralisks that are not yet on the field, and NightEnD looks like he wants to engage, moving forward, putting up a wall of force fields completely surrounding the southern flank. Zerglings are getting in just through a little gap there, but looks like NightEnD just has enough units, enough Immortals, and enough Stalkers that he's able to completely demolish the Zerg army. Where did all the Zerg units go? I do not know where Zerg units go when they died, but that's where they all went, as Morrow's supply is down at 128. NightEnD up at 150, Corruptors flying around doing nothing, and that is it. GG, just a sick timing attack and nice force fields, and that's what it takes to take down Morrow.
Yeah, I mean, you know, as we said, a lot of that was decided earlier on in the game when Morrow was trying to all in. He did not have many drones, could not make all those units, and he really paid for it. As NightEnD went over there, he had a very similar sized army, but a better unit composition, more tech out in the field, and Morrow just had no chance to hold that off. Really solid play by NightEnD.
Yeah, and that's the kind of fundamental thing in StarCraft and StarCraft 2. If you make a mistake early on and you try to just go standard, you really need your opponent to make a mistake. What Morrow needed there was bad force fields or bad unit position out of NightEnD, and NightEnD showed that he was just not giving that back. Made, you know, arguably no mistakes, and Morrow just didn't take enough of a risk to get back into the game.